Several of the 2020 contenders who have dropped out of the presidential race did so to battle for competitive congressional seats. Former Colorado governor and 2020 candidate John Hickenlooper officially hit the campaign trail for a Senate seat in the Centennial State. While the Democratic establishment has all rallied behind him, some in Colorado are saying not so fast.
Several people have also launched insurgent campaigns for the Democratic nomination. We spoke with former Colorado House Speaker Andrew Romanoff about the Democratic establishment's efforts against his campaign, and Hill TV's Jamal Simmons sat down with the business owner and first-time candidate Denise Burgess about why she's running to represent the interests of Colorado instead of Washington.
So why did they decide to weigh in here on behalf of John Hickenlooper, and how does your record differ from his?
Well, John and I differ on a number of issues. I respect him. I'll certainly support the winner of the Democratic nomination. But look, we face a climate emergency. I support a Green New Deal. That doesn't sit well with the fossil fuel industry, including the oil and gas companies that fund the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee. I support Medicare for all. I don't want more people in the richest nation on the face of the earth to struggle or suffer or die on account of problems we can fix. That doesn't sit well with the insurance companies and the drug companies, which also fund the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee. So you can connect the dots and follow the money and figure out pretty quickly why the party bosses and the power brokers in Washington aren't keen on a candidacy like mine.
Andrew, I've seen some reporting from The Intercept and others. Can you just lay out for the viewers what exactly the DSCC is doing to you? They have pressured companies or consulting companies and protection staffers not to work for you expressly. Is that correct?
Yeah, look, they've been pretty naked about this from the beginning. The DSCC took the view that they don't want a primary. They'd rather pick a winner out of Washington. I told them the people of Colorado are capable of making that decision. It's what an election is for. So they set out to sabotage our campaign, to blackball any companies that wanted to do business with us. They told them they would lose any contracts with the DSCC. And that's fine. We have had no trouble putting together a talented team of folks. In fact, in the weeks since the DSCC weighed in officially on this race, we raised more money than in any other week of the campaign. More folks went to andrewromanoff.com to chip in the last 7 days than any other period since we started this race in February.
Nice work getting the website in there. Of course, what they would say is, no, we're just picking John Hickenlooper because he's a former governor, he's a moderate candidate, and we believe he's the most electable. What do you say to that?
Yeah, look, the polling says that the Democratic nominee in this race, if the election were held today, would beat Cory Gardner by 10 points. Cory's the most vulnerable Republican incumbent in the country because he has a record of sticking with Donald Trump and Mitch McConnell, and that doesn't sit well with the people here in Colorado. So whoever wins the Democratic nomination, I expect, will have a lot more friends across the country. I wouldn't be running for this seat if I didn't believe I was the best qualified, obviously, as one of the strongest legislative leaders in the country. I led the Democrats in our state to our first majority in 30 years. I led back-to-back majorities for the first time since the 1960s and became a Speaker of the House who demonstrated an ability to get things done. I know that's not the way Washington works, but it's what Colorado wants.
So what do you think differentiates you fundamentally from John Hickenlooper? I mean, he's somebody who would probably vote with whomever the future Democratic possible president is, or he would side with Chuck Schumer. I mean, ultimately, if you were to enter the United States Senate, what would make you different from him?
Well, I bring to this race not just a record of legislative leadership, but a sense of urgency about the existential threats we face. We either decide to take seriously the evidence that science is sharing with us about this climate crisis, or we condemn our children to a world where heat waves like this one, and droughts and wildfires and storms and floods become even more frequent and more destructive. I don't think we have a lot of time to wait. We ran out the clock years ago on incremental reform. That's why I support bold, transformative change like the kind envisioned by the Green New Deal. That's one place where the governor and I differ. And we differ on healthcare as well. I spent the last 4 years running a mental health organization. I watched too many families in our state, and I've seen too many across the country, who have been unable to get the care they need because of a business model that profits by its ability to deny as many claims as possible. That's a good model if you're an insurance company. It's a pretty lousy model for the rest of us.
So, Andrew, with the DSCC lining up behind Hickenlooper and the rest of the National Democratic Party establishment, do you have a shot here?
I believe I do. Sure. So we've received endorsements now from more than 300 county commissioners, city council members, legislators, mayors, school board members. That's 10 times as many state and local officials who have signed on to our grassroots campaign at andrewromanoff.com, as all the other candidates for the Democratic nomination combined. So the people of Colorado will have a chance to weigh in on June 30th of next year and pick the candidate they believe can best represent our state and take this battle to Cory Gardner. I believe will win.
How does the polling look for you right now?
So in the polling that I've seen, John Hickenlooper has a lead, to be candid, and that reflects the name recognition that he enjoys after 8 years as governor. He's a very likable fellow. But I think if you demonize progressives, if you call folks not just socialists, but compare them to Joseph Stalin when they support common sense proposals like the kinds that we've laid out in the course of our campaign, it's very hard to rally the base. I believe I've got the best ability to reach across the state to build the kind of grassroots coalition we need to defeat Cory Gardner and to flip the Senate, not just from red to blue, but from paralysis to progress, because that's what this election is about.
All right, Andrew, thank you so much. Good luck.
Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you very much.
So hi, Denise. Welcome to the Hill.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
So you have a big announcement this week. Tell us about it.
I am going to be a candidate for the Democratic primary for the Colorado U.S. Senate.
Awesome. So this is a very big Senate seat for Democrats. Democrats are paying a lot of attention to this because Cory Gardner, many people think, is a very vulnerable senator, but you got a big name that's also in this Senate race, the former governor, John Hickenlooper.
Yes, absolutely.
So you're running for this seat. Tell us how you plan on running in a primary with 6 other women, a former governor, and a few other candidates in this race.
Well, I've learned over the years with my past experience to run your own race. I'm a builder, and the reason why I'm running for Senate is to take those skill sets of being a builder and bring it to the Senate and change the face of the Senate also in the meantime. I'm running not against John Hickenlooper, but for the people of Colorado. I have been where 90% of them have been. I've been, waiting for my paycheck. I've been trying to get things done. I've been trying to use my health care and combating with healthcare situations. So I understand where they are, and I try to meet people where they are at all times. So I thought to myself, this is the perfect time with all these other people in to bring those skill sets to the Senate to say, hey, we're going to bring consensus. We're not going to deconstruct, which has been the problem for the last few years. We're going to construct the infrastructure of where we need to be to realize the American dream for everybody, and especially for the Colorado voters.
Okay, so you're a businesswoman.
Yes.
Right? You've not been elected to office before.
No.
Okay. So as a businesswoman in Colorado, you're in an industry that most people don't think of an African-American woman really being that successful in. There aren't that many examples that people think of. How have you been able to manage being a Black woman in the construction industry?
I think being authentic, being myself, being direct, which I am at all times. I also think understanding where you are. I mean, I'm knowledgeable in what I do. I make sure that I'm knowledgeable in what I do. I make sure I bring consensus. Construction is really about taking nothing and building something. And I'm really have that asset as a personal asset and a professional asset.
Because you got a successful business. And so this is not something a lot of Democrats run on, being business people and successful business people. That's why I'm really trying to drill in on this. What is it that you're going to, how is it in a Democratic primary that you make this a selling point?
Because Colorado is over 90% small business, which means most of the voters that we're looking at. And
you say 90% small business.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
96% of the businesses in Colorado are small businesses.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, we are not a big corporate state. We're a small business state. And I think that's an asset that people don't realize. And, in this primary, that a lot of the voters are doing 1-2-man shops, 20 people to 200 people. And they are all voters. They're all concerned citizens. They all are trying to make ends meet. They're all trying to get health care. They're all trying to make sure there's success in their story.
And what about these issues that we hear about in the national platform, things like Medicare for all? Is that the kind of issue you'd run on?
I'm running on healthcare in the sense of healthcare for all, health choice for all. I mean, I have to see what Medicare, it's not a bill, it's not a law yet. That's why I think I would be great in the Senate, because I'm a person who's already seen what it takes to, pick out a plan for my employees. And I've also been on the receiving end of having a healthcare plan and having to deal with, health issues and making sure that it works for your family. So it's not about the name of a bill, it's about making sure that it works for everybody, and it's affordable for everyone.
Okay, so why would you say, what's your core reason for running for the U.S. Senate?
I think my core reason is that I want to make sure that we represent Colorado. I keep hearing about taking someone out, whether it's Cory Gardner or the president, and I didn't hear, what am I going to do for Colorado? That's been my core reason for doing this, and saying, what about the voters? What about the residents? What about the people who are coming in? We have a high, sort of migration population that comes into Colorado, and making sure that they have opportunity. And I want to make sure that they have the opportunity that for 2 generations my family has had. Our business is 45 years old. My late father started the company, and we've had the American dream. We've had that success. And to really represent them and get things out of the way on the federal level to make sure that everyone else has that opportunity to have that American dream, the home, the health care, the empowerment of pay parity, things like that. So that's sort of my core of where I come from.